Goal Zero Yeti 6000X Basics. How to operate your Goal Zero Yeti 6000X. Welcome to CID. We're doing a quick overview of the Goal Zero Yeti 6000X. And right now we got the Goal Zero 6000X, and we're going to start off with the display. The display is in the center of the unit. There are 3 buttons on top of the display. One is units, which will change the output ratings. The output would be, right now it's in watts. Then it cycles to how many watt hours the battery has been physically used since day 1. Your voltage, and then your amperage. I like to stay on watts. So let's start off here. So we have the display on there. The display also has an input, output, the little battery icon. Then underneath it's got a percentage of the battery, which right now is at 17%. Right now there's no input or output, so it is showing nothing on there. So on the far left, you have your inputs, which is a 6mm plug and an Anderson connector. To the right of that, you have your 12-volt output, which has 2 plugs and a different style of Anderson connector and a cigarette lighter port on there. None of these ports will work unless you press the button on top of each group of ports. So the 12-volt, let's click that on. And it's not showing any output. So the 12-volt and also the USBs do not have an output when the battery is not connected to anything. So let me turn that off. Now we're going to go to your USB port right below the display. You have a 60-watt in and out. You have 2 USB-A ports. And then you have an 18-watt quick charge port. Again, right above it, there's a button that says USB, and these ports will not charge anything unless they are turned on. Now we're going to get over to the AC port. The AC port does have a little bit of a draw because the inverter has to change over, to the plug type on there. So if you have this AC port on, you will always be sucking 7 watts off the battery. So try not to leave that port on unless you are using it. When not in use, you would want to turn it off. Okay, so now let's hook up some items to it. Right now I have a little go-go battery and I have a Yeti 500X on there. The Yeti 500X is about 40%. Go-go battery, I am not sure. So let's start off by plugging in 1, then 2, and we'll see what kind of draw it has. This is how you do your math with these batteries. So right now it's putting out about 54 watts. It does take time to calculate, so you just kind of let it go on there and it'll bounce around a little bit. And now it's starting to wake up. So if I was going to charge this 500 battery, we'll have 12 hours till empty. Now this doesn't know the capacity of the battery it's charging or anything like that, but this is just for demonstration on there. So what you'd want to do before you first use this item is hook up everything you could think of that would go through and cause a draw on the battery, and turn on the port, and then you'll see the time till empty to see if your item will work with the size battery on there. And also if it's an item that has like a multiple draw, sort of like a refrigerator or like a CPAP machine, which can change the draw, or an oxygen generator, they will vary on there. So usually you want it kind of running at full tilt to get a worst case scenario to see how many hours you have left on there. Right now the battery's at 17%, so it is very low. So it's going to take 9.2 hours. It's charging at 65 watts. So it'll take 9.2 hours to drain this battery from empty. Now if we click on info, info is just kind of there. And then we have a light button on top on the display to turn that on and off. So right now we're just charging up that 500 battery. It's pulling about 65 watts from the charger. Now let's hook up the GoGo scooter battery and see how that works out. So now the wattage has really jumped up on there. So you can see the time going down. And it goes by watt hours. So if it's giving an output of 123 watts an hour, you divide 6,000 by that if the battery was fully charged, or you use the calculator inside, which is our hours till empty on there. Okay, now let's go into, so right now, yeah, it's pulling about 111 watts from both items. Okay, now let's go back down to, let's turn off this AC port, and now we're going to charge up our battery. This is the charger that came with Goal Zero. It's a 600 watt power supply. For this item, it really cuts on charge time. The original Yeti 3000s, it would take 24 to 48 hours to charge them. This one does it in a way shorter amount of time, way more efficient, sucks a lot more juice, but it'll charge up your battery way faster than an original 3000. Okay, and this has a plug on it, so let's flick it on. And we'll give it a minute to calculate. And it's a 600 watt charger. Let's see if it drops all 600 into there. And this charger works through the Anderson port instead of the 6mm plug. But you can also get a charger with the 6mm plug for it too. I'm just not sure if it'll have that capacity of the 600 watts that this charger has on there. So it's holding steady right around like 520 on there. So it's going to be about 10 hours till this is full from 17%. So it's about, maybe even a third of the time it would take with an original Yeti 3000 on charging this 6000, which has double the capacity. This also has a app that you can use with it where you can operate it remotely to turn on and off the ports. And I think that about does it for the Yeti 6000. And for more information, feel free to contact CID San Mateo at www.cidsanmateo.org. We are also part of the DDAR program for individuals with disabilities to help prepare for emergencies. Thank you so much for your time, and please like us and follow us, and we'll give more videos with more information. Thank you.